3,
So I just read
2,
from the script, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Podcast plan 26/0.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you.
There's always one point where I do something really stupid, so.
Yeah.
Well, it's happened immediately. This is amazing.
Oh, it's happened immediately. It's amazing. 3, 2, 1, go.
I was drinking, James!
Right.
You must understand. When James commits, he commits.
Hello, welcome to Three Men, One Hun. I'm Rob, joined always by Kieran.
Hello.
James.
Hello.
And Naomi. Hello!
Oh, me.
She wasn't impressed by that.
This week we'll be discussing Formula E, which was obviously at Valencia.
Obviously.
The WRC, which was definitely at Croatia.
Definitely.
And the IndyCar, which was somewhere.
Before we talk about that, though, Buckland, what was your thoughts on Lando Norris getting the podium at Imola, as you weren't here last week?
I was just a little bit happy with that one. Couldn't watch it live, but when I did catch up, it was. I may have been jumping around the living room.
Oh,
maybe.
That's good to
all?
hear.
I'm over the moon for that result, and it's a good start to the season. Let's go.
Well, hopefully Portimao suits McLaren, and because Carlos Sainz led it last year, so who knows?
Yeah, we ran really well.
We are going to talk about the Formula E races in Valencia, Round 5 and Round 6 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. This really, it's not the first time Formula E has been at a permanent circuit, but it is the first time that pretty much all the circuit was a permanent circuit, apart from one or two sections. What did you guys think about Formula E racing on mainly a permanent circuit?
Makes a nice change. It's usually street
Yeah.
circuits, and it was good to see the cars on a circuit that people actually can appreciate a little bit. Something a bit more familiar with. Obviously, street racing is something that's fairly new, but it's good to see the cars tested on a circuit environment, so you actually compare them against existing series a little bit. But yeah, really good.
What about you,
I've
Darko?
always said I'll find Formula E easier to watch if they race on proper circuits.
Oh, that's good.
I just think the allure of a proper circuit would drive people to watch it more.
Yeah, it made a nice change. I mean,
Yeah.
the cars are getting quicker, so they can handle it a little bit better than they used to as well. So
Yeah.
Van Dorn took pole and then didn't get pole. Got disqualified for a tyre irregularity, I think they said. And your
Tyre
boy Da Costa-
passport.
Tyre
Yeah,
passport, there you go. And your boy Da Costa got it.
Yay, poor Stoffel though. He can't catch a break, can he?
No, can't. It's one thing after another this season.
To be fair, as we'll discuss, he does stay in the running after a great drive, but it was really unfortunate to have been dropped all the way to the back of the grid for the start of the race. But
yeah, he'll get his revenge later.
Yeah.
So, for the third race in a row, Formula E started behind the safety car because it was wet out there.
Another wet start.
But it was, so it was another safety car start. But after the safety car went in, we got racing, and Da Costa led from Gunter, Lynn, and De Vries was making up some very good positions at the start. So the safety car went in after one lap, and Da Costa got a good start, led the field away. But then on the first lap, Lotterer did his thing again, and unfortunately, he hit Sebastian Buemi, who got stuck in the gravel trap, which feels weird. Formula E cars in a gravel trap because they're usually on street circuits. And yeah, Buemi was out right away, and Lotterer got a penalty for that.
Yeah, deserved, frankly. It's pretty blatant.
Yeah.
You could have done a lot better there, but you just sent it. Whether it's a mistake or not, it doesn't matter. It's a punt, and
you have to be aware of these things.
Yeah, it's
you
tricky.
You have to be aware of these things if you're a racing driver. Yeah, that's like something you see on F1 2020.
So
So-
that deployed the full
That was
course
like-
yellow.
Here in open lobby.
Exactly, yeah. It sounds quite familiar, yeah. Especially when you two are in it. So, yeah, we had a full course yellow, and De Vries got into second place past Lynn and Gunter, so that was a really good run for him in the conditions.
I have to say though, his move around the outside was pretty good, and then Lynn pulled off an amazing move on Gunter. He went round the outside for
Yeah.
turn 1, from turn 2 and turn 3, and got the inside into turn 4. I thought that was pretty brave from Alex Lynn.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's really opportunistic. Proper driver move, that one. Well, we had set a camera. We got punted by Evans at some point in the race, which deployed another safety car.
Yeah.
Everyone was struggling the conditions by the looks of it.
Oh, it really was though, and it was a bad lap for Dragon really, because Van Dorn pushed Muller off at the exact same corner at the exact same time. So it was a pretty bad lap for Dragon, which Van Dorn got a 5-second time penalty for that as well.
Well, we had Van Dorn falling back to 18th as well. I can't remember exactly what the reason for that was. But he fell back for a while.
He started 24th, so that might be a reason why he was down in 18th.
Yeah, he made up a load of places and then he fell back. I don't know if he went off on the gravel, I think. They showed a replay. And he went off the track. He just made his own mistake, really. And he was probably thinking, race over.
Yeah.
By that point.
Maybe it is.
Maybe.
Or maybe it isn't.
I'll have to find out.
We'll find out later in this episode after these commercial breaks.
Beautiful. Beautiful. It's all really good scrap between Verline, Natto, and the Envision Virgins, I think. There's a scrap between about 4 of them towards the end of the race.
Oh my
God. Amazing to watch.
Yeah.
Verline got double overtaken by first he got Natto, but then on the same straight, both Robin and Nick from Envision Virgin Racing, they both went either side of Verline, and they both got him into the turn, and then Natto went wide at that turn as well. So they actually got 2 positions in one. So
unbelievable to watch.
And
Nice.
obviously with Envision Virgin Racing being my team, I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
It's been
So-
like
I get that.
McLaren cars going round the outside of either side of Bottas or something. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like
That's
that kind
not.
of-
Nah, let's say Hamilton because it'll be more of a challenge.
I guess,
yeah.
actually, no. Good. Would Lewis let
But-
that happen though? Who knows?
Yeah, just leave that.
But I was so happy to see my boys get up there, and then there was another a safety car period.
Lotterer
I
went
believe-
off.
Yeah, Lotterer went off. Well, he hit Mortara, and Mortara went through the gravel, and Lotterer just stayed in the gravel.
Just
And
forget it.
yeah, he's just like beached there. So after the safety car period, there was probably one of the most craziest, and Formula E has had many crazy moments, and probably controversial moments in the history of the series. There's a certain rule where after a minute under safety car, you get a certain amount of energy taken off. And then basically, all the field, apart from about Nick de Vries, Stoffel Van Dorn, Nico Muller, and the Envision Virgins, and a few other guys, they basically got the energy wrong. Everyone else, apart from those guys I've just mentioned. So basically, Antonio Felix da Costa crossed the line for the for the final lap of the race, and then he basically just stopped because he pretty much ran out of energy. So De Vries took the lead. Oliver Rowland was following, but he had gone past his usable energy and was just right behind De Vries the whole way. And then basically cars were just stopping out on track on the final lap, and others were going very slowly. And we ended up with one of the most craziest results in the history of Formula E, whereas we had we basically had Nick de Vries winning the race, Nico Muller finished second. Now, just to put that into Formula One perspective for you guys, a Dragon, which is the car he drives, is basically the equivalent to Haas this season.
Jesus.
Mercedes,
So-
Haas, Mercedes.
Basically,
Unbelievable.
so Nico Muller in the Dragon, I think he was like 15th or something going into the final lap, and then he suddenly just overtook everyone into second. And Stoffel Van Dorn from 24th and last on the grid got third.
I know, after all his bad
Incredible.
luck, he'd moved up and then gone back down, and then suddenly at the end of the race just made the most of it, given his energy use was so good.
He
And Mercedes-
finally got a break.
Finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
It was all thanks to the energy strategy, I guess.
Well,
The Mercedes had
Merce-
said we need to save more energy than... They said afterwards we needed to save more energy than we thought we did, because we
Yeah.
were worried that there might be an extra lap, and not many other teams considered that.
No.
And it gave them the advantage, and they took it. So fair play.
Yeah.
People were
strat.
saying it's a weird rule,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter. Rules are rules. You know, they've known this. This rule's been around for a little while now, so it's nothing
Right.
new.
So I'll just explain this rule. Just one thing I need to clarify: the Formula E cars themselves didn't run out of energy. They had the battery still had 40% energy left in the battery. What they ran out of was usable energy, and Formula One has a similar rule. Whereas when you cross the line in Formula One, you have to have a certain amount of fuel in the car, otherwise you're disqualified, which is what happened to Daniel Ricciardo in Australia 2014, because although he had enough fuel to finish the race, he didn't have enough fuel legal to be classified.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically, Formula E is in a similar position. So the cars didn't run out of energy. What happens is, though, which makes Formula E a bit different to Formula One, is that they actually take... So basically, you have a certain amount of energy you have to finish with, but that number goes higher and higher underneath a safety car. The FIA have an ability to cancel that if necessary, but they didn't do that. So,
Right.
which caught most of the field out. So I'd say the FIA messed up quite a lot, but some
Yeah.
teams got it right. And fair play to him. Fair play to Mercedes. Fair play to Dragon. But also, what I will say is that if the cars had enough energy to get to the line, I possibly think De Vries could have taken Da Costa for the win, you know, because he would have had he had 3% more energy. He would have been flat out basically for that last lap, whereas Da Costa would have had to have energy save. So I think De Vries could have potentially won that without that chaos that ensued on the final lap.
I think so. With some of the moves he was pulling earlier, I think he probably would have been a real contender on that final lap for sure. Your boys, Cassidy and Frines got 4th and 6th in the end as well,
Yeah.
which was a huge result for
Yeah.
them, really.
That's good.
I'm very happy for my Envision Virgin boys, with Robert in 6th and Nick Cassidy getting his best ever result in 4th. At the time, that was the best result for one of the 3 rookies this season, which was
Nice.
pretty
Well,
good. But yeah, only 9 classified finishers. The others either didn't finish or were disqualified for exceeding the overuse of energy.
It's unbelievable.
It's crazy.
Such a weird race because it wasn't the most exciting race ever. But once it got to those last 2 laps and all that hell broke loose, it just changed the whole thing completely. There was some really good overtakes. I'll give it that. There was some really cool overtakes. It was a slow burn. But that's not to say it wasn't a good race. It was a classic because of the energy issue.
To be honest, though, I'd say it was a typical Formula E race because that's what most Formula E races are like. At the start of the race,
fair point.
You're saving energy so you don't do anything ridiculous, so you make sure you get to the end. And then it's usually around the 30-minute mark where it gets all exciting and everything. Well, because there were so many safety cars, I think that delayed it until the last 2 laps.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it just went... That was the most craziest end to Formula E ever. What did you think, Backlund?
That was mental. Absolutely mental.
So just before we move on to the second race at Valencia, it's just worth noting that the Jaguar drivers came into that race as 1-2 in the championship. After that race, it was a Mercedes 1-2 in the championship.
Unbelievable.
Just goes to show how quickly things can change in ABB FIA Formula E.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Yeah.
It's so close.
Definitely.
It always has been so close. No one ever just runs
Yeah.
away with it. It's so unpredictable, and that is the big appeal for me. The overtaking, there's really good racing, and the unpredictability. That's what makes it exciting, not knowing quite what's going to happen.
And now we're going to talk about race 2 at Valencia, round 6 of the Formula E Championship. In qualifying, you have groups of championship order, and basically there was rain at the start of qualifying.
Oh dear.
So what it ended up was the championship leaders are at the back,
Oh,
and the
yeah.
guys who were last in the championship
Ouch.
were in the top. Were in the top 6.
Basically a reverse grid.
It was basically a reverse grid.
Fantastic.
So we had Jake Dennis, who's new for this. You'll soon
who?
find out who in a minute.
I
Jake
mean that in
Dennis.
the kindest way.
Yeah.
He's new to the championship. You know.
He's brand new to the championship. He didn't score a point in Formula E before this weekend. He got points. He got points in that mad race the day before, and then he suddenly ended up on pole position for
Absolute scenes.
absolute
Skills.
scenes. Becomes the second of the 3 rookies to claim a pole position this season after Nick Cassidy. But yeah, he was Jake Dennis in the BMW I Andretti Motorsport car was on pole position, and we finally got a grid start.
Yes!
Yeah!
Get in!
I have to say that Turvey, which is about the Formula E equivalent of Williams this season, had a brilliant start. He was about 4th on the grid. He had a brilliant start and got up to 3rd, past his teammate Tom Blomqvist. And it was very exciting first few laps until at the end of the first lap, they all pretty much stayed in order because the thing is, you don't want to be leading that race because it would save energy.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I noticed a lot of the drivers doing. They were just holding back. They weren't doing anything rash, like Lynn and Turvey. They were just quite happy just to sit behind and manage their own energy and let Dennis cut a hole in the air. That's what it felt like.
Jake Dennis said that he wanted Alex Lynn to pass him, but Alex knew what he was doing and he was saving energy. And I think Alex was looking the strongest contender for that win until we'll get onto that later. So, it was pretty tame for a Formula E start.
It was. It looked like Turvey was doing quite well until all the first phase of attack mode shook out, and he actually lost quite a few places. I think he dropped down to 7th.
Yeah.
And
something
he's had
like
the
that.
pace too, but it just shows how competitive it is.
It shows how competitive. It also shows that the Neo isn't quite as efficient as the rest of the cars on the grid, unfortunately. But they did a stellar job to be up there. Turvey was in 2nd at one point, which was pretty amazing. But then as soon as the others took attack mode, he was basically like a sitting duck.
We had Nato doing a little punterino on Lynn.
Yeah.
That was a little push to pass in the end because he ended up moving up to 2nd with Rast in 3rd, I think. So Rast was doing pretty well too.
Well, Lynn dropped to about 7th, 8th, or 9th. This is the thing. So this is what I was saying. Alex Lynn was looking so strong for that victory until Nato, unfortunately, hit the back of Lynn. And it caused Lynn to go in the gravel and drop to about 7th, 8th or 9th. I can't exactly remember. But he was basically into 2nd. So, but he did get a 5-second time penalty, which would cost him dearly in the end.
It took a while for the decision to come through, though, I must say. It was near the end of the race before it actually got delivered. Like, you got 5 seconds.
I know. I think it was fair, though. Totally fair. He may not have meant to do it, but I think 5 seconds fits that.
Yeah. That's definitely a fair penalty. We had Van Dorn getting a bit feisty with Seb Buemi. and Van Dorn took
I,
a real risk there, I must say. Smashed his wheel.
I think that was his own fault, personally. If I was him, I would have backed out a little bit. You could clearly see he was the better car, and if he just waited 1 or 2 more corners, he could have potentially took away me.
Yeah, too greedy.
Too greedy, too soon.
Exactly.
Mm.
Caused his own problems. No need
I
for a
think though,
penalty.
Da Costa and Rast had a similar issue before in that that corner earlier on in the race. Come to think of it, and well, Rene Rast went in the gravel, but then he was running as high as third at one point. Although he did use a bit of energy to get that high, to be fair. So just after the second attack mode, Lotterer got past his former teammate Jean-Eric Verne up into third, which would eventually become second with Norman Natto's penalty. But there was a little bit of problems for Antonio Felix da Costa in the attack mode phase. Apparently, his second attack mode wasn't working, and he got a penalty for it because he didn't use it.
Ugh, that sucks.
Shame.
I really do feel for him after dominating yesterday before he had before that final lap, and then just Sunday was rubbing salt into the wounds for him, and I really do feel for him. I really do.
Yeah, it's got him. It's just had
Can't
no
catch
luck,
a break.
really. Yeah, he's having a Van Dorn weekend. No luck whatsoever.
No luck.
Tell you who was having luck. Jake Dennis, absolutely romping away at the front there. And then
Well-
Natto gets his penalty, so there was literally very little in the way of pressure.
Yeah, well, what happened is Jake said that he decided to take advantage of that moment because everyone was running behind him to try break the slipstream from everyone else. And it pretty much worked, and he managed to get away. But he almost went across the line for the start the final lap too early. Because if he had done that, we would have had 2 laps to go, and literally everyone was like saving for that for one less lap. So his engineer had to get on the phone and say, "Slow down, slow down." So,
It was looking real sketchy. I thought, wait, is he going a bit too quickly? And it was only a couple of seconds in it.
yeah,
Sure. It wasn't
If he-
pretty
if-
close.
if his engineer hadn't got on the radio, I think he would have caused
Crossed the
another
line.
lap.
Yeah.
So that would have been interesting. Everyone just like saving. But yeah, Jake Dennis came across the line to win and become the 19th winner in Formula E from 75 races to become the 19th E-Prix winner. And having not scored a point before the weekend, he came across the line to win for BMW I Andretti at Valencia. Isn't that just amazing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're approaching nearly a whole grid's worth of winners in only the 7th season.
I know.
So it's rapidly mounting up in terms of the record books, I must say.
Andre Lotterer, just having not scored a point all season, he came across the line to take second place. And Alex Lynn, and he didn't hit anyone. And after
achievement unlocked. You got a
And
clean
after-
race bonus.
Fucking heck. And Alex Lynn, having made his debut in Formula E since season 3, finally got his first ever podium for Mahindra Racing, which was pretty good and a much needed result for Alex.
Absolutely, he's waited too long for that.
It's almost like he's been waiting his whole career just for that podium, isn't it, Kieran? Crazy. Good result, though.
It's very long
Hats
career
off to him.
as a rookie.
He's not a rookie.
I'm joking.
All 24 drivers have scored points this season, which is remarkable.
Oh
Wow.
my god.
And
6
already-
rounds in, everyone scored a point. It's mental.
I don't think that's ever happened in Formula E before, so that's amazing.
Not this early. Not this early.
No,
That's so
never.
impressive.
It's never happened before.
Oh, it's never actually happened before at all. Like everyone,
Really?
there's always been one
No.
with no points.
Wow.
There's always been one with no points.
Wow.
Yeah.
And already we've had everyone score at least one.
Yeah, so unless a new driver makes their debut this season and doesn't score any points, then everyone's going to set to score points this season, which would be absolutely amazing. First of all, who is your driver of the day on Saturday?
I will go for De Vries.
You'll
think.
go for De Vries.
Because after all that, he prevailed to win the race, which after a race as crazy as it was, it's got to be him, isn't it?
Fair enough. What about you, Buckland?
Yeah, I have to go to De Vries as well. Just kept it clean, didn't he? Saved the energy.
Well, I actually wouldn't have gone with De Vries. I'm actually in the middle of two at the moment. I'm thinking of Nico Muller for getting second in that Dragon, or Stoffel Van Dorn from last on the grid to take third after having his pole taken. I think I'm going to have to go for Van Dorn, to be honest.
Yes,
So,
Yeah, it's a good shout.
So,
but we're still right though.
Yeah.
As always.
And driver of the race on Sunday.
I'll go for Dennis because, well, he drove faultlessly, to be honest. I don't think he really put a foot wrong all race.
Well, he led every single lap of a race you didn't want to lead.
Exactly. Dry race on a proper circuit, that was going to be really tough, especially on energy.
No safety cars either.
No kind of way to recover any energy whatsoever. No kind of way to chill out and relax a little bit. Nothing. Just had to go flat out the whole way. So yeah.
What about you, Buckland?
It's hard to disagree with anything you two just said about that guy, Dennis.
Yeah, so, I think Dennis. I think we're all agreed that Dennis deserves driver of the day on Sunday. And that wraps up Formula E.
Next up, we will talk about the World Rally Championship, which happened in Croatia.
So basically, just to explain, Croatia is a brand new round to the championship. None of the drivers had been there before. And it was basically brand new tarmac rally for everyone. The action got underway on Friday, and 20-year-old championship leader, the youngest ever championship leader, Kalle Rovanperä, he binned it on the first stage. And that was his rally over completely.
Effing chat.
Wow.
Effing chat for Kalle Rovanperä. Such a shame at 20 years old. There's so much pressure on him. I couldn't do that at 20 years old. And and then Thierry Neuville took the early lead. Sébastien Ogier almost lost it though on the same corner as Kalle Rovanperä, and he's a 7-time world champion, so we can't really criticize Rovanperä. It was just It was a poor It's just unfortunate moment for him, but it's clearly caught out the best in the world with Ogier because he got a puncher from that as well. So
it's a challenge for the championship leaders, you know.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
Championship winners, you know what
I mean? Yeah, exactly. Especially Ogier, who's the second most successful rally driver in the sport's history. Adrien Fourmeau, my guy, who made his debut for M Sport. And so that's why I'm wearing my M Sport merch. And he was beaten his more experienced teammate Gus Greensmith, who had a new co-driver this weekend, Chris Patterson, to get him more experience, to get him more on the pace. So even though he was being beaten by his rookie teammate, Gus Greensmith was doing a pretty good job, I'd say, a much improved job. Yeah, basically at the end of Friday, Neuville led from Sébastien Ogier in second and Elfyn Evans in third.
Great day one.
Nice.
Some food for thought, some very tense moments for some leading drivers, and really bad luck for the leader at the time. But yeah, plenty more to come.
Yeah, well, it was technically a three-way battle at that point, but I thought Neuville was going to run away with it, to be honest. So on the first stage of day 2, things took a dramatic turn. Neuville took a mixed strategy of soft and hard tyres, which unfortunately was the wrong choice for him. And he lost the position to both Toyotas. Ogier took the lead from his teammate Evans, it was a terrible stage for Hyundai, actually, because Craig Breen, who was running in 5th place, his car gave he hit a roundabout 100 meters into the stage and got a puncture, which meant my boy Adrian Formeau moved up into P5 on his debut.
Oh yeah.
I'm a bit of just to let you know, I'm a bit of a Formeau fanboy. So
It's not coming across.
no,
Can't tell at all. You're very subtly hiding it.
yeah.
Very subtle.
So
Unbiased completely.
in the afternoon of day 2, Neuville was closing up to Elfyn Evans, and then it became a real freeway fight when Ogier had a slow puncher. So that was a bit dramatic.
Yeah, certainly put him under a bit of pressure to try and hold on to that lead. And Neuville certainly redeemed himself from the morning for that tyre choice mistake.
Definitely. And it's good to see this pace from Neuville, because there is rumours floating around that he could be replaced at Hyundai for next year.
Oh dear.
So to be leading Hyundai's charge is what is needed from him. Exactly. Yeah. So day 2 ended with Ogier leading from Evans in 2nd. Neuville was 3rd, Tanak was 4th, and Adrian Formeau on his debut was 5th.
Absolutely smashing it.
And just to mention something about Formeau, he was on the first stage of the day. He was 2nd place on the stage. So he almost got his first stage win on his debut, which would have been amazing.
Blimey.
But he didn't quite in the end. But yeah, now we move on to day 3, where it got dramatic. I don't know if you two have seen the video on YouTube, but Sébastien Ogier was involved in a road traffic collision.
It's so bizarre. Like, he moved it was his fault, because he moved late. He changed lanes, or he drifted out of his lane and didn't see the road car
BMW
on the inside. It's actually a BMW.
He was a BMW driver.
Was the BMW indicating?
Well, how could it?
Of course it fucking wasn't.
Well, apparently not in Ogier.
Well, basically, people are saying that they're both equally at fault, because you're not really supposed to undertake someone, are you? And they drive on the other side of the road in Croatia.
Right.
So he was basically undertaking him.
Yeah.
And he was sped up more than the speed limit to try pass Ogier. So I think they're both at fault, for Ogier for not using his mirrors, and for the BMW driver for trying to speed up and show Ogier who's boss. But Ogier ended up with a €7,000 fine and a suspended 1 event ban.
Ouch.
Whoa.
So if something happens like that again for the rest of the season, he will be banned from entering from 1 rally. Julien Ingratia's, Sébastien Ogier's co-driver, side door was completely smashed. And although the car could still continue, the aero of the car was completely compromised. So, and basically that led to Elfyn Evans taking the lead for Wales. And he led, basically going into the final stage. And
So
then
dramatic.
it was basically a three-way fight between Evans, Neuville, and Ogier. I haven't got them in the right order. Evans led, Ogier was 2nd, Neuville was 3rd. Going into the final stage, the power stage, and
what a name for it as well, the Wolf Power Stage. How cool
it's awesome.
It's like a roller coaster. I was watching the highlights, and the section they're watching, there's houses either side of the road. It looks like a roller coaster. It's like a toboggan run. It looks fantastic.
So, just to explain what the power stage is, in Formula 1, you get a point for fastest lap. If you're fastest in that stage, you get 5 points. If you're 2nd fastest, you get 4 points. If you're 3rd fastest, you get 3. If you're 4th, you get 2. And if you're 5th, you get 1 point. So they're battling for championship points if they win that stage as well. And Ogier, I believe, I think I was right. Ogier took the power stage win and the overall rally win by 0.6 of a second.
Yeah,
That's
Unbelievable.
it's
It's
mental.
20 stages. I
20
don't know
stages.
how long the total
Yeah.
time was for the entire rally.
th-
Do you know?
3 hours and something.
So they've done over
Jesus.
3 hours of rally driving and ended up with a gap of 0.6 seconds.
Yes.
That would be a
And
close
just-
finish in Formula One.
That would
Yeah.
be well, just to put that into perspective, some Formula One qualifying time, so like a second apart.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's extraordinary. Yeah.
So it's one of the closest finishes. I believe it's I believe it could potentially be the third closest finish in WRC history. I can't remember, but
Wow.
I know the first two are 0.2 of a second in Sebastian Ogier won Rally Jordan in 2011, and Marcus Grönholm won by 0.3 of a second in New Zealand in 2007.
Whoa.
So
Jesus.
I think it's the third after that, although I can't exactly remember. But either way, that is incredible. After 3 hours of flat out driving, Sebastian Ogier and Julien Ingrazia won their 51st Corrali. Won their 51st.
Good old Crowley.
They took their 51st career
Crowley.
win. Took their 51st rally win.
Crowley. So I was not.
It's
It's
being a troll
okay.
again.
3, 2, 1. So Sebastian Ogier and Julien Ingrazia finally took.
Why are you drinking again? Oh my god! Just when he was talking, you just lit your fucking massive jug up. Sorry, James, but I
It's
cracked
okay.
up.
It's so I didn't say Crowley again, alright? It was my coping mechanism and you ruined it, Kieran.
Yeah, well done, Kieran. Right.
Here we go.
So Sebastian Ogier and Julien Ingrazia took their 51st rally win of their career. Elfyn Evans was second and Thierry Neuville was third. Fourth was Ott Tanak, the 2019 World Rally Champion. And fifth, he was my driver of the rally personally, Adrian Fourmeau. That is the joint second best finish in WRC for a rookie since the great Sebastian Loeb made his debut in 2001.
Wow.
So that's how good it was. This is why I'm making a big deal out of it. So Sebastian Loeb got second on his WRC debut in San Remo in 2001. Kalle Rossi and Adrian Fourmeau's best on their debut was fifth. That is their joint second on the best finish since then. So that is how much I rate these boys.
He's going to be
Yeah.
one to watch. So if I had to pick
Force to be
a
reckoned
driver
with.
of the weekend, yeah.
Fourmeau is my guy.
Yeah,
Mighty.
I'm happy to go with that.
Yeah, so, and in arguably not the best car, unfortunately, M Sport is a private team. No backing really from Ford, whereas Hyundai and Toyota have all these millions, and yet M Sport still fighting up there for wins. And Adrian Fourmeau on his debut, I'm so happy for him. He got P5, and he without a doubt gets driver of the weekend for me, and his co-driver as well, obviously.
Be a Loeb prodigy.
Yeah.
Well, he is French.
Yeah, exactly.
Oui.
They have an affinity for this, don't they? It's the Finns.
Yeah.
It's the French and the Finns, isn't it?
Yeah,
They're
and
good at this old crallying.
They're all corralling.
It's those mountains.
So-
isn't it?
So yeah, at the end of the rally, Sebastian Ogier leads the championship from Thierry Neuville in second, and Elfyn Evans moves up into third.
Amazing. Good weekend for Evans as well, definitely.
Yeah. He's still in the championship fight, which is good because a lot of people thought he wouldn't be in the fight this year after losing the championship last year, but he's hitting back strong, and I think it'll be pretty soon before Neuville or Evans win a rally this season. As an event, what did you think of it before we wrap it up?
That was good. It was a good event, yeah.
Kieran?
Drama, everything. Had a lot. Drama, punches, BMWs. What more do you need?
Exactly. And yourself, Kieran?
As rallies go, it was a classic, I think. Just that how close it was at the end. And knowing that
Yeah.
Evans probably cost himself the rally win with the slightest mistake. Because it was Neuville and Evans that had issues. They went deep into a couple of corners.
Yeah,
I
that
can't
would have
help
cost
thinking
them.
that Evans, that cost him that rally win.
That
Yeah.
did.
It would have done. Just that one
He would-
mistake, and it would have been. He'd be kicking himself right now for that. But they're professionals. They'll move on. They'll figure it out.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and
amazing.
they both are against the second best rally driver of all time in Sebastian Ogier as well, who's in his last season of WRC this year. Can he go out on the championship, or will someone take it off him? We'll find out at the end of the season. But yeah, tune in next time. Tune in for when we do WRC again to find out what happens in Portugal.
Hey, Kieran.
Yo,
McLaren got a podium.
did they?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Speaking of McLaren, we're going to go to IndyCar with
A
Kieran
little bit
because
of
McLaren are there. Look at that fucking transition. Yeah.
I love that transition. Fair play.
I was planning that all the way through. I reckon Herta won.
Right. Fair play. Herta.
I reckon Grosjean, did shit, probably, like 13th.
All right.
something.
Fair enough.
Jimmy Johnson, did he even finish? Oh, no, he must have finished. I reckon he finished like last.
But he probably got a few mentions.
So we move on to IndyCar now, and we moved on to St. Petersburg a week later, and we had Colton Herta on pole and led away, followed by Harvey, Newgarden, and Pagenaud. That was going smoothly for the time being. They're all putting pressure on him until Jimmy Johnson spins out.
Oh,
Frankie's rookie
dear.
mistake.
Oh, rookie mistake. Just want to say, though, if you didn't know this about Colton Herta, he is the youngest winner in IndyCar history at 18 years old.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, it's incredible. At 18, I was in a park drunk somewhere.
What
He's
are you
off
doing with
winning
your
the
life?
Indy 500.
So Takuma Sato has put in some really good moves. Went for the move on Hinchcliffe, but it's a bit desperate if you ask me. Hinch got a puncture, so he was out of the race. Yeah, he was also made the move on Hunter Ray as well. That was a little bit cleaner this time, so they both got away with it.
Oh, that's good. Two former teammates.
So Ray Hall and Rossi had a coming together as well, giving Rossi a puncture. So carnage all throughout the race, frankly. But it was
dear.
all got up front. Herta was still running away with it, quite frankly. Jimmy Johnson spun again. Another rookie mistake.
He's copying Seb.
Definitely looking like Seb right now. Very much like a rookie. That 7 NASCAR championships not helping him out at all here, frankly.
It just shows though how hard it is to transfer from one racing series to another.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, because he's very good on NASCAR, obviously, but to transfer to IndyCar, it's a different kettle of fish, and
Completely.
so he might be making these rookie errors, but just remember, NASCAR is a completely different beast to IndyCar on road courses.
So after that spin, we had a safety car, and Herta was out on the harder tyre, with Newgarden and Pagenaud challenging him behind on the softer tyre. So he was under a lot of pressure there with the tyre temps being quite low. You can't generate a lot of temperature into the Firestone tyres.
No.
So Herta was having a big uphill struggle trying to hold on to that lead. And he did, actually. So
well, fair play to him for holding off not one but 2 cars on the softer tyre.
Yeah, especially the likes of Newgarden and Pagenaud, guys who have been near the front end of the grid for a long time.
Two previous champions.
Exactly. Really spectacular drive. Jones spun out later, and it deployed a second safety car, so Herta was back in the same boat. But this time he done it even better this time.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And got away, and for the remaining 17 laps, just plugged in the laps and took the victory in the end.
Well deserved, I have
Nice.
to say.
Yeah, just ran off, didn't he?
Yeah, he just
Hamiltoned
drove
it.
faultless. So yeah, Newgarden and Pagenaud got second place. Notably, Marcus Ericsson finished 7th from 16th on the grid. So had a really good
Not
recovery.
bad.
I'm guessing he wasn't supposed to qualify 16th, maybe had an issue. But he had an amazing recovery drive. And
Well, fair play to him.
yeah, XF1 it shows.
Just
and-
how hard it is to transfer from one series to another yet again.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And rookie Romain Grosjean moved up to 13th from 18th on the grid as well. So
Not bad, 5
amazing.
places up. But I think the rookie win went to McLaughlin, didn't it, in 11th?
It did, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a really good drive. Really good drive.
So McLaughlin was the best rookie out of the 3 rookies.
Definitely. And good old Jimmy Johnson was at the back.
Oh dear.
Woo!
2 spins to his name and 24th. 22nd
But-
because there was 2 retirements. 22nd.
Yeah.
Finished.
Yeah,
So-
well, just goes to show again how hard it is to transfer from one series to another. You got the likes of Grosjean, McLaughlin, and Johnson making their debuts this year, and they're struggling at the moment. But I'm sure they'll be up there at some point when they learn to get IndyCar sorted.
So, who's
Okay.
your driver of the day, Kieran?
It's got to be Herta for holding out on the hard tyre after 2 safety car restarts with 2 charging soft tyre runners behind him. Really solid job.
I have to say the same, really.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with that. Excellent point.
What about you, Naomi?
I agree.
Oh, interesting point. All right,
What's on
well,
next week?
Formula One, WEC. I want to talk about WEC quickly. Pre-season testing happened in WEC today, and I just want to say there is something controversial happened. The LMP2 cars are faster than the brand new hypercar category, which is the replacement for LMP1. So that's like a Formula 2 car faster than a Formula 1 car. So they've got unless they get the BOP right, an LMP2 car could win outright this weekend. So yeah.
Good job. Okay, my darlings, that's it for this week. Come join us again next week when we'll be talking about the Formula One in Portimao, WEC at Spa, and MotoGP at Spain. Like, comment, subscribe, all that rubbish. And from me, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, my love! I was Naomi, by the way. She's not here this week,
Oh yeah.
in case you didn't know.
Yeah. So thank you for watching and goodbye.
See ya.
Bye.
Like and subscribe.